Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today, Tuesday, February 4th, 2025. We are broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere south of a formerly tariffed nation known as Canada, our 51st state, and somewhere north of a formerly tariffed nation known as Mexico. My name's Brian Engelman. That is TV's Blake Walley. This is the Agree to Disagree show here on the New American Media. Today, we are going to discuss USAID. USAID. Wait a minute. Is that a concert where Willie Nelson performs to help kids? No. Was that Farm Aid? No, this is something different, something far more nefarious. And holy shit, I think we might have unlocked the key to the deep state. All you had to do is follow the money. Who would have ever thought? I don't know, maybe someone that was actually trying to find it instead of somebody on their payroll. So we're going to discuss all of these topics. USAID, did they unleash the COVID bioweapon on humanity? Agree or disagree that they're the ones responsible? Agree or disagree that Elon Musk is a dangerous and unelected menace to the United States of America? Agree or disagree that Democrats have great reasoning to protect USAID funding? Agree or disagree that the politicians protesting USAID, they're the ones benefiting from U.S. aid? How about this one? Agree or disagree that the deep state is universally preferable to the Trump state or the deep state? The deep state is preferable to the Trump state. There we go. Agree or disagree that RFK's confirmation is a turning point for health and accountability? Agree or disagree that Trump's recklessness has proven that tariffs are terrible for policy? I like that phrase. Tariffs are terrible. And we could do something with that. And finally, agree or disagree that the FBI should be protesting the retribution mission from Trump. All of these stories and more on today's episode of the Agree to Disagree show. Blake, glad to have you. How you doing today, sir?
Doing great. Living the dream, Brian.
Living the dream. That's a nice. You know what? Yeah, I'm living the dream as well. Maybe on the next show, I'll come back and report some interesting findings from today. We'll see how today goes. I don't want to jinx it or talk too much about it, but things are in the works, good sir. Things are in the works. All right, let's jump into today's program, shall we? By the way, however you're watching, please hit like, please hit subscribe. Follow Blake on X. He's at TV's Blake Walley and thenextlevelnews.com. Follow the New American Media on X at American_media_, and subscribe to the Rumble and YouTube channel, Facebook page, Instagram, Truth Social, the New American Media. Find us in all of the spots. All right. You know, this is something super interesting, and it's super pertinent to me. Blake, would you agree or disagree that USAID unleashed the COVID bioweapon on humanity? That is quite a statement right there. What do you say? Would you agree or disagree with that?
I would say there's probably some funding involved. I don't know if I would say like them as an agency or as a conglomerate, perhaps. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on that one. I think it's a little bit of both.
All right. Well, let's take a look at what we think we know about this. Pulling up this article on our X feed. This is from Walt Dimmock. He's saying that Elon Musk has said that the USAID funded the creation of bioweapons, including COVID-19, and is responsible for the deaths of millions of people worldwide. And my fellow patriot, that's only the tip of the iceberg. This is the X post from Elon Musk, or as President Trump mistakenly referred to him in a tongue-twisting moment as Leon Musk. He quickly corrected himself, but now I keep thinking of him being Leon Musk. Maybe he's got an alter ego of Leon. But Elon said, did you know that USAID, using your tax dollars, funded bioweapon research, including COVID-19 that killed millions of people? He's responding to Kaneko the Great posting that USAID funneled $53 million to EcoHealth Alliance. And EcoHealth Alliance is one of the main topics that Anomaly kept bringing up when I last sat and spoke with him a couple of years ago. USAID funneled $53 million to EcoHealth Alliance, which then used U.S. taxpayer funds to support gain-of-function research on coronaviruses at the Wuhan lab. And that was research that likely led to the creation of COVID-19. Don't call it a lab leak. It's been there for years. I think it was an intentional bioweapon attack. But this continues here. The CIA's deception regarding COVID-19 origins becomes much clearer. And it shows here from the New York Post, that the CIA tried to pay off analysts to bury findings that COVID lab leak theory was likely from Wuhan. Remember, they tried to say, no, a bat kissed a pangolin, said Jon Stewart, and they tried to obfuscate that. No, it's probably natural. You know, these things jump from bats to humans all the time. Fauci was always full of it, and now here we are, Blake. What do you make of this? Elon, I mean, this is pretty direct accusations right here from Elon.
Yeah, no, this is a huge story, or part of it. Wasn't even that familiar with USAID before, a couple of days ago. If you would have asked me, I don't know how much I would have been able to tell you. Probably not much at all. But yes, it's this kind of big slush fund that they've been using, and it's not really for our interests, for the American people, and they should know what's going on. And yeah, it's all about this, these aid workers. We could get into some of there's a lot to unpack.
There is. Well, I'll tell you what, let's pause on the aid workers. I bet that might be coming up in one of the other bullet points here. Let me just get a couple of these out of the way, and I'll kind of turn the rest over to you here. There's a lot to unpack. This is Heather Stewart saying USAID, among other things, funded gain-of-function research on COVID-19 at the Wuhan lab. Enough said. This is Ron Paul having his comments about this. I think Ron Paul is, just take a listen.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the weekly report.
Everybody.
Audit USAID, then shut it down. As of this writing, when you attempt to access the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID website or social media pages, you are informed that this site can't be reached. The media reports that the new Trump administration has not only frozen USAID activities, but may be planning on bringing it back under control of the U.S. State Department.
As it should have been.
Other reports, including statements by Elon Musk, suggest that it will be closed completely. If true, the closing of USAID may be one of the most significant changes President Trump has made among the many dramatic actions in his first couple of weeks in office. Many Americans may still have the idea that USAID is a government agency delivering relief at disaster site overseas.
It's that, Blake, that's what it sounds like, USAID. It sounds like, Bono and Sting are going to be performing with Willie Nelson at USAID. Or, we're going to be delivering aid to other countries. That's not what this is. You were quasi unfamiliar with USAID, and now it's like it's the number one story everywhere, probably rightfully so. Are you surprised this whole agency has been kind of under the radar the way it has been?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of waste and corruption going on in the government, but I guess there's so much of it everywhere that this one kind of got overlooked. But it seems to be there's a lot of former CIA agent heads. There's a lot of dark money in this, funding who knows what. So we're gonna hope, as Ron Paul's saying, audit the whole thing, find out what it's worth, and see if the American people are gonna continue to support it once they know where their tax dollars are actually going.
Agreed. Let's hear a little bit more from Ron Paul. I'm not going to play the whole clip. It's a 5-minute clip. You can find it on American_media_. But it's important to check in with Ron.
They may still remember the bags of rice or grain with the USAID logo on them, but that is not USAID. USAID is a key component of the U.S. government's regime change operations worldwide. USAID spends billions of dollars every year propping up NGOs overseas that function as shadow governments, eating away at elected governments that the U.S. interventionists want to overthrow. Behind most U.S. foreign policy disasters overseas, you will see the fingerprints of USAID.
I'm just going to pause it there. He's going to go on and give you a little bit of a lecture. I have a couple more things I want to get to, and we're going to be very focused and high and tight on today's program. But yeah, I saw, maybe it'll come up in my scroll here. I'm trying to remember where I shared what, but Mike Benz was showing the difference between what the CIA is funded with and what USAID is funded with, and that USAID is just a functional arm of the CIA. It's astonishing to kind of just know that this stuff was happening without really any oversight. Really, this is the deep state that Chucky Schumer is cackling and twisting his gnarled gargoyle fingers about, talking about Corona and stuff. Corona beer, not coronavirus. Yeah, Chucky Schumer's more interested in Corona beer than coronavirus. Go figure.
Just for a little prop, but he didn't even know what he was doing.
I know, such a creepy little guy. Let me scroll through here. Philip Stock saying USAID funded the Chinese lab that gave the world COVID. If you know someone who died from it, thank Mark Kelly and USAID. Oh yeah, I will. My name is Inigo Montoya, and you killed my brother. Oregon's COVID disaster here says, so Chuck, regarding Senator Schumer, you're essentially saying that the elected president doesn't have any right to review an agency within the executive branch, while arguing that an unelected shadow government of bureaucrats from USAID should not be questioned or reviewed by the president. Blake, these corrupted congressional members that are just mouthpieces for the deep state, what is to be done with these people? What do you suspect could be done if these people are elbows deep in crimes against humanity, unleashing a bioweapon attack on humanity?
Well, I mean, yeah, looking at treason, looking at some major stuff, prison time, recalls. Yeah, they have to hold these people to account for their sins against the American people. They've gotten away with this, and they have to be made examples of, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
Not anything, barbaric or anything, but yeah, they need to be quarantined from the rest of us, and perhaps, take back all their ill-gotten gains.
Yeah, I normally agree, nothing cruel and unusual, but when it comes to Fauci, anyway. Let's take a look at this one here from Chief Nerd. Ron Moore is saying, yeah, didn't COVID-19 just kill thousands with USAID fully funded? Moron. So here's Bill Gates on The View. Chief Nerd says, well, here, it's the quote. I'll just let it play. Let me crank up the volume here. Yeah, Bill Gates on The View. You want to talk about propaganda dialed up? Mine goes to 11.
Mr. Gates, you also called Elon Musk's political influence abroad, quote, insane, along with another word we can't repeat here. But what's your take on his political access and influence here in America right now?
Well, Elon, his private sector work, has been very innovative, really fantastic. A lot of private sector people, when they get into government, they don't take the time necessarily to see what the good work is or why it's structured the way it is. So I'm a little worried, particularly with this USAID stuff. My foundation partners with USAID on nutrition and getting vaccines out. And, there's incredible people. They're not actually worms that work there. So, hopefully we'll get some of that work back in shape. In fact, if we don't, you could have literally millions of deaths. So, with aid, people...
Just to rewind that one more time, in case we missed that. If we don't get USAID back, look what he's going... Now, I'm inferring a little bit here, but if they don't get USAID back on track, I wonder what's going to happen.
Literally millions of deaths. So, in fact, if we don't, you could have literally millions of deaths. So,
that sounds like a threat.
With aid, people think, wow, how much do we give these countries? As you said, it's less than 1%. People think it's 5%, and it should be 2%, but it's actually under 1%.
Millions of deaths. Let me make sure I had the context of that.
Getting vaccines out. And, there's incredible people. They're not actually worms that work there. So, hopefully we'll get some of that work back in shape. In fact, if we don't, you could have literally millions of deaths. So,
Blake, does that sound like a thinly veiled threat that they're going to unleash another one if they don't get the funding for USAID? Or am I just being too conspiratorial?
No, I'm sure. I think that's part of the agenda is to wipe out lots of people. I just saw a part of an interview. I forget. I think it's Dr. Martin. He was on Alex Jones. I just saw a quick clip of it saying this is kind of part of the agenda. They don't have enough money to fund all of the older people. Whether it's Social Security, Medicaid, all that stuff. And this is a type of thing that goes after the older people. A lot of people confuse Gates with some great philanthropist, but he really is there to kind of take people out, to kind of dwindle the numbers of too many useless eaters, I guess. Or it's going to be hard to afford everything. And they're taking some pretty drastic measures under the guise of humanitarianism, but it's certainly anything but.
Yeah, that sounds like a dangerous conspiracy theory that YouTube is going to use to yank this video down like they've done to so many of my others. It's simple supply side economics. There's too much money owed. There's too many people. Yeah, it's called thinning the herd. It's why you clear the dead underbrush in a forest in California. You clear out the dead stuff or the almost dead stuff, so that you don't burn everything down, because you can't afford everything. So why not just take the super old, the super frail? I mean, it's a plausible theory, if not a known fact, that that's exactly what a bad guy would do. It's what I would do if I were a bad guy. Well, why is that something we're not allowed to talk about on social media? Why is that something that Google, YouTube pretends they own the truth on that, and they're not allowed to let people discuss that fact? What do they have to hide? Thou dost protesteth too much. So I wonder the influence of organizations like that. I did just have that one little thing here. It was just Chip Roy saying, what if I told you, and I'm done with mine.
Yeah.
It just says, what if USAID didn't come forward during the COVID outbreak to let the public know about their funding of gain of research? And this kind of shows where the NIH takes the money and it goes to Wuhan, EcoHealth Alliance, University of Cal Irvine, Duke, University of Cal. Then it goes to Wuhan University, Wuhan Institute of Virology, another virology in Wuhan, military medical science. And it filters down, then it cascades down, then it cascades down. And then at some point they can put their hands up and go, I didn't do that. I didn't fund Wuhan. Yeah, you funded EcoHealth Alliance that funded Wuhan. Well, we didn't have torture programs in the United States. Yeah, you funded rendition. So you paid the middleman to do your dirty work, and you said, I didn't do it. Well, the government didn't censor free speech online. Yeah, you forced Facebook and you forced Google, YouTube to do your dirty work for you, and Twitter. Like, no, we didn't do it. We don't run Twitter. You forced them to. You paid them to. You directed them to. You absolutely did all the things you keep pretending that you're not doing. So anyway, that was pretty much the gist of what I had for my screen sharing, Blake. It's just, I think we finally got to the bottom of this. This feels like the slimy bottom of what we've been trying to get our hands on this whole time. All you ever had to do was follow the money, Blake.
Yeah, no, this is great that they're going to take a closer look at everything and audit it all and find out where our money is going. And is it in our best interests or somebody else's? And it appears it's been someone else's for a long time. And it's time to put America interests first, as they say. So I do have, lots of stuff. I can zip through a lot of it pretty quickly. Just to follow up on that, since we're on the subject. Yeah, it was Dr. David Martin exposing how he thinks the mRNA, so it's not mine, don't shut down the channel, but that the mRNA shots are being used to cull American senior citizens before an economic collapse bankrupts Medicare and Social Security. So it's almost like they got to thin the numbers out before it becomes too expensive.
So this is us reporting on what this doctor is reporting.
He's a legit dude. This guy's been around. He's been exposing some pretty heavy stuff, especially with
I'm not super familiar with him, but Google, YouTube pretends that they have every answer to everything. And they would call this dangerous medical misinformation. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say, you were airing dangerous medical misinformation. Number one, who the fuck is Google to try to pretend they're a doctor and tell me what's what? Medicine is tested with new hypotheses every single day. Every single day, you have to have a robust discussion about health. New hypotheses are challenged every day. But they are going to take this and probably scrub it from the internet. Oh, this could lead to something or something. Well, you know what else leads to something? Not talking about the elephant in the room, not discussing potentialities, and not thinking things through and being forced into a one-size-fits-all approach that does not work in a medical field, that needs to account for all sorts of variables that do not respond well to a one-size-fits-all approach that the government forces on you. USAID, CIA, the deep state, they don't want us even having these conversations. This is just a few years after this demonic plague was unleashed on the globe. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this show is instantly shadow banned or not. I'm curious to see how it falls. But that's why we're on Rumble at the New American Media. That's why we're on X at American_Media_. You got to follow us on the non-Meta, non-Google YouTube platforms. We got 1,700 videos on YouTube over the last 14 years. That's cool, but they've been going through and deleting ones that they don't like. I hate Google YouTube more than I can even explain. Not just because they demonetize the channel, but because they're censoring content. And I think if you want to find out who's the bad guy, look for the one who's censoring what you're allowed to say and what you're not allowed to say. That's a nice marker for me. But hey, we stepped right into this territory, Blake. So let's just own it, embrace it, and whatever. We're allowed to talk about medicine. We're allowed to talk about theories. Consult with your own doctor if you have any concerns. Don't listen to us. And by the way, here you go. Gun to my head. I must do this damn thing again. Go to cisa.gov/rumor control because they'll tell you 2020. Oh no, that coronavirus that was unleashed on the globe, that had no impact on changing all the voting laws that led to those 7 swing states turning into fraud states to magically erase hundreds of thousands of vote leads for Donald Trump across the board so that they could install this Biden puppet regime, the third Obama term. So make sure you check that out for countervailing views. Also, go to WHO. Didn't Donald Trump already defund the World Health Organization? I don't know why we're gun to our head having to tell you about the WHO, a totally corrupt organization, but go to who.int. And also go to cdc.gov and cdc.gov/vaccines, specifically guarding vaccine-related medical claims and political implications thereof for countervailing views, because they might disagree with Dr. David Martin. I don't know. Maybe doctors have different opinions, different warnings, and different spidey senses tingling. That's what medicine is. It's a robust discussion. Anyone silencing you on your ability to have that debate can fuck right off. Okay, there, I put the thing at the bottom. Whew, taking a breath. The floor is yours, good sir.
Okay, well, let's continue on. The Democrats are freaking out about Elon Musk, the Doge being the shadow government, and why are they so mad at waste and abuse being exposed? Kind of wonder if it was if they were in charge and they had some sanity and they had their own people going in. Things might be different, maybe, or was it the Democrats that were dipping into this deep state slush fund more? I'm not sure, but they certainly are big mad about President Trump freezing the USAID spending.
They are big mad, Blake. They are freaking out.
Yeah, so that's good to see. So, and it's hypocrisy at its finest as well. Doesn't make any sense until you start digging in. Seems like maybe they're benefiting themselves, so they don't want you to know that. So, yes, the freezing the spending, authorizing Elon Musk and his Doge to investigate where on earth all the money is going. And I'm sure a lot of it's also embarrassing because they're finding out, for the American people are going to be outraged when they're figuring out how many millions of dollars are going to a bunch of stupid stuff. So now they're trying to twist it. Instead of that, it's Elon Musk shouldn't be there. Now it's an unelected shadow government. This is coming from Chuck A. Schumer.
That's
saying
hilarious.
Shadow government is conducting a hostile takeover of the federal government. Doge is not a real government agency, doesn't have the authority to shut down programs, blah, blah, blah.
And by the way, it has become an official government agency, and Chuck Schumer is the main spokeshole for the deep state shadow government, the unelected 6 ways from Sunday crew that does whatever they want, harms whoever they want, overthrows whoever they want, runs up tabs that they can bankrupt nations with. Yeah, he's the problem, and they are deflecting like they always do, Blake.
Right. And Jamie Raskin also putting himself out there as one of the leaders here. They all went down to the USAID and had this big spectacle in front of the building, like they were trying to save a valuable government agency from being shut down by the fascist unelected bureaucrats. I don't want to call them bureaucrats because they're going after the bureaucrats to Elon Musk. But anyway, I don't know how much of this I can play. Let's get a few quotes.
Elon Musk. Elon Musk, you didn't create USAID. The United States Congress did for the American people. And just like Elon Musk did not create US
in the 1960s. And yes, so we can start them up and take them down.
For the American people, I don't think this is for the American people at all.
It may have been at that time, and then it became corrupted and became a huge slush fund. So it starts with like good intentions, and it's temporary and this, and then it just gets getting bloated, and people forget about it, and then it bloats into this slush fund, and then they're using it for funding gain of function research and all kinds of other shit. It's bad.
USAID. He doesn't have the power to destroy it. And who's going to stop him? We are. We're going to stop him.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
I'm a dork. Yeah, okay, pal.
Right.
Yeah, Jamie Raskin is usually one of the worst when it comes to understanding who the cast of characters are. Whoever's lying to you the most, you'll find Jamie Raskin sitting there. By the way, Super Sal 44 jumps in regarding the medical rant that I just had, saying facts. He was told that he has the diabetes, and the doctor goes, here, take this metformin, and the side effects for him are worse than the cure. So, or than the disease. So he says, I just have to lose weight. I know. Maybe just healthy lifestyle is the thing we need. We don't need these pharmaceutical companies. What have they actually cured in all of these years? Do they actually cure anything, or they devise something that you need to be on for the rest of your life and paying them money for the rest of their lives? It's insane. It's insane. And we'll get to Bobby Kennedy coming up in a little bit. But yeah, at first, a little bit more Chucky Schumer here.
Right. Well, there's no money in cures. There's money on expensive treatments.
That's disgusting. I hope Bobby can really change some stuff. I don't know. I got an interaction on X with somebody who's, it would be great to see it, but they're not super optimistic. And I'm like, I'm holding out some optimism. I think this is a unique, transformative time in American history, perhaps more so than at any other time in our nation's founding. I really do think we have an opportunity right now.
Yeah, this is a 4-year window to really set America up for success going forward. And it's been a good, really strong couple of weeks, and let's hope it continues.
Should we call him Jamie Ratskin from now on? Jamie Ratskin. That's a pretty good one. Jamie Ratskin.
Sure, let's go for it. I'll be down with that. All right. Elon Musk, he's poking back at Schumer here. He's mad at dismantling the radical left shadow government. So it's just, yes, it's a pure projection here. This is the shadow government, not Elon Musk, who is going with transparency and trying to show people what they're spending money on. It's totally doesn't make any sense. And yes, it's our one chance to return power to the people from an unelected bureaucracy back to democracy. Anyways, I don't know how much of this should I play.
And the American people, mark my words, the American people will not stand for an unelected secret group to run rampant through the executive branch. Being innovative is good.
Yeah, so I don't know what he's
the secret group that he represents. He's literally the spokesperson for this secret unelected group that shot Trump in the head, framed Trump for this, framed Trump for that, staged the insurrection, all of it. He is the guy. He's the spokesperson for what, God, these people project everything that they are onto the people that are trying to stop them. It is page 1 on their playbook. God, it's transparent.
Right. Here's another one from Michael Steele, former Republican chair.
I interviewed him.
Yep. So he's saying this man is dangerous. He is unelected. He heads an agency made up out of thin air with no congressional oversight. Now has access, if not control, the federal payment system at the Treasury, which they exposed all kinds of problems there with them signing off, paying everybody money, and not rejecting anything. So it's clear Musk has no experience with or demonstrable understanding of the government. Republicans don't care. Democrats have no clue how to stop him.
No congressional oversight. It sure sounds like he's talking about USAID.
Exactly. So
operating independently with the biggest slush fund imaginable. $50 billion a year, I believe, with a B. Okay.
Yeah, that's insane how much they've taken from us. That's just, recently. So let's check out, here's AOC who calls Elon Musk like not smart. Really? This is hilarious.
Can I suggest something? We do it two ways. Can you play this on mute and then come back and play it with their sound? Like,
that's what we're trying to do, a really tight show today, and we keep stopping. Do you want me to run this twice, once without her, without any audio?
Yeah. Just 20 seconds of it silent, and just look at how she's acting. She looks like not Selena. Who was the one? Selena Gomez with her fake crocodile tears.
Right.
You can see bad acting when you turn the sound off. You can see it super clear. So let's just give it 10 seconds with just watching her. We'll watch. Shifting. Okay, you can play with sound now. You can usually tell when people are acting just by watching their mannerisms, when it's really off.
Well, the Gomez was clearly acting. I don't think AOC is really smart enough to pull something like that off. I don't think she would. But it's funny how she believes her own BS, and she has a childish understanding of how the world works. But let's check it out with volume. And it's ridiculous, even for her, who has probably an IQ of, I don't know, like in the low 90s versus Elon Musk, who is a certifiable genius here. So she clearly doesn't understand.
This dude is probably one of the most unintelligent billionaires I have ever met or seen or witnessed.
Because she doesn't understand. Yeah, it's like the idiocracy. People, they think, they think the main character is stupid when he's not. He's, the average intellect, but they don't understand. So they think that everything he's saying is, he must be making it up or he's crazy.
Gatorade is what plants crave. Plants crave Gatorade. It has what plants crave. Electrolytes.
Right. It's Brondo. Right.
Josh is saying that AOC looks like Michael Jackson. All right. There's a little bit of that going on there. Good observation. All right. Continue with AOC.
Okay.
Which, you can probably even glean that from watching these people on TV.
Yeah, that's me laughing that you think that Elon is not smart. Okay, go ahead.
Anyways,
you cannot like him. You cannot like his policies, but to say he's unintelligent is too much for me.
All of that is to say is that they don't do their homework. Clearly, like, they're putting 19-year-olds in at the Treasury. This dude is not smart.
So they have a bunch of like super genius, like autistic guys coding, going through all this stuff with for these bureaucrats that have been there for 30 years, wasting everybody's time, and they can be replaced with a 19-year-old in like 5 minutes. I don't have that in my stack, and in the nature of time.
Which one was that?
I don't have it in the stack. There's a million things that I had. But one of those things is that, some of the people that he's getting to work for him on this some of them are straight out of high school. But it's people that understand these things, that can go through all the lines of all the spending and cut through it and start interviewing some of these bureaucrats on what their job is and what their function is and if they're actually needed. So that's one of those things that she's alluding to. Why don't we skip over that, though? We've got enough from her.
This was here, the Facebook page of the 19-year-old engineer helping Elon at Doge,
Right.
Edward Korstein, and then the young, inexperienced engineers aiding Elon Musk's government takeover, they call it. Engineers between 19 and 24, most linked to Musk's companies, playing a key role as he seizes control of federal infrastructure. God, the hyperbolic nature of trying to run an audit. These people are addicted. They are freaking out. You're right. They're big mad. They are terrified. I think we found the source. I think this is the source. This is the kryptonite to end the deep state. At least step one, following the money.
Right. Certainly that, and putting a spotlight on it and showing the American people where their money is going. But this guy's been putting out some great content. Mike Benz, he's saying AOC, she's promoting USAID, actually came from a USAID program in college.
Yeah.
You gonna stop there, Brian, or did you want?
I was just saying. Oh yeah, I exclaimed. Yeah, this is how AOC got her start. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. So you kind of wonder how somebody with such a low IQ, this goofy bartender in New York, gets into power. Yeah, you just have to make the right connections, and yeah, you get into the USAID stuff, and I guess you can find a way to make a career in politics from that, as long as you toe the party line, do what you're told, and there you go. So let's continue on. Here's I'm not a fan of Andrew Tate, but I thought this was funny. Oh my God, I can't believe they let a billionaire who puts rockets in space work for the government instead of a bald tranny who steals luggage from airports. Yeah, that's a pretty good point there, right? Are they ripping on Elon? But here's the reality. Elon Musk is a special government employee. Musk can't do and won't do anything without approval, and they'll give him the approval where appropriate. So you have an outsider, an entrepreneur, one of the most richest man in the world, highly successful, super genius, to go through the federal government and cut waste, and somehow that's a bad thing. And
Blake, President Trump was signing an executive order, and he was talking about Elon. He's like, yeah, Elon, he's a smart guy. He's going through and finding things to cut, and he will. He goes, but he's not cutting anything unless I agree with it. Everything gets ran through me, and I make the final decision. Like, that's it. Oh, he's unelected. He's working for free you've got one of the smartest human beings on earth working for free for President Trump. Yeah, take the win, people. Take the win. But these people don't view it as a win because this is how they get their funding for all this ridiculous stuff. I mean, $70,000 for a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a trans opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a trans comic book in Peru, $1.5 million to push DEI in a Serbian workplace. Like, this is madness. This is madness when you still haven't cleaned up the oil or cleaned up the chemical spill in East Palestine, and you still haven't helped North Carolina rebuild yet. It's a complete lack of prioritization, Blake. So, yeah, Elon, dangerous, unelected menace. I mean, good grief. One of the smartest people on earth working for you for free. That sounds like Donald Trump's a genius. Getting Elon to do all this for free? All right, kudos to you.
Right. This should be a good thing, and for some reason they're trying to demonize him, and that he's like the shadow president or something like that. No, they just don't like that their little game has been exposed, and they're freaking out about it. So it's good to see. All right, let's move in. Elon's also saying the corrupt politicians protesting outside the USAID building are the ones getting money from USAID, and that's why they're there. They want to keep continuing getting your stolen tax dollars. So we've already run that clip there. Okay, how about what is next? USAID also supposedly funding the World Economic Forum. Let's take a very quick look as a 15-second clip from Representative Rooney here.
And there are so many abuses of AID. I found out that AID has given money to support the World Economic Forum. Why would the United States taxpayer be subsidizing the World Economic Forum when everybody that arrives over there arrives in a Gulfstream G5?
Okay, good point. This was in 2017. Yeah, all those the world's super elites gathering to talk about population control or what have you.
Eating bugs.
They want us to eat bugs while they're all eating steaks. Not for them. It'd be one thing if they did it by example, but they're not.
Of course.
That's for the peasant class. And they have no business collecting any of our American tax dollars. So that's another way that they were abusing this. USAID funneled $53 million to EcoHealth Alliance, which we've already called out. We're kind of repeating this information. Yes, USAID funding went on to China for gain of function. Let's see what else. Least surprising thing ever is watching Democrats defend the CIA front, known as USAID, deceitfully depicting it as just some nice organization that wants to help. That's from the going after Amy Klobuchar again, saying that shutting down USAID is not about efficiency, it's about undermining America's global leadership. Really? USAID counters extremism, fights diseases, and creates more markets for U.S. exports. This is reckless and dangerous. Again, they're benefiting themselves. So, and they've got at least 7 former CIA directors that are on the take, I believe.
Oh,
making policy decisions.
At least.
Yeah, that's just the directors, and who knows how many other deep state goons are on the payroll. The fact that Democrats finally found a cause worth fighting for, defending a corrupted monument to waste, coups, and imperialism called USAID, is as pathetic as it is unsurprising. Can't wait till the next Democratic march in defense of the CIA.
Frozen until a wave
Here they are. Make a big spectacle.
Let me say that again. Prisoner guards overseeing thousands of ISIS combatants walked off the job.
All right,
Sounds like
moving
Caroline
on.
Duty, actually. Okay.
You just mentioned this one because this is Caroline Leavitt highlighting the waste and abuse. Now, some of the 4 of the most insane priorities, I guess, at least so far, as you said, $1.5 million to DEI in Serbia, really, or $70,000 for a DEI musical in Ireland. 47 for a transgender opera in Colombia.
Oh,
Okay,
mamma mia,
cool.
mamma mia.
Now, do they need $47,000 of our tax money? No. $32,000 for a transgender comic book. Why would it need that much money? You got to hire so many artists and what have you. You couldn't do that on somebody else's dime. But yeah, these are the things that people need to know, and they should be outraged about. Let's see. Mike Benz, the USAID problem. We're just about Democrats. We get Congress to kill it with current Republican control. But he's talking about other shit. Let's move in because he's on.
And USAID exists as an illusion to fool you into thinking.
Run a 1-minute clip here.
And USAID exists as an illusion to fool you into thinking that USAID is not the State Department, but it is. The only reason it's an independent agency is because and USAID exists as an illusion to fool you into thinking that USAID is not the State Department, but it is.
Okay, so it is the State Department is what he is saying.
It's the only reason it's an independent agency is because that gives aid workers access to areas state can't access directly. U.S. diplomats.
That's the point I was trying to make in the beginning here, trying to connect these dots here.
Can't just walk into civil society institutions in foreign countries or in conflict zones. Can't just get into government buildings. Can't just access the indigenous population. But if they're aid workers, the doors swing open. And so
it's also used as a loophole. Oh, no, I'm not with the State Department. I'm with USAID. I'm here to help you. I'm here to give you $47,000 so you can have a tranny opera in Colombia. Sure.
It exists as this front.
If you listen to Elon.
All right, so I'll just pause that. There's also another story about the military under Biden and Mark Milley openly plotted to incite race riots in Africa and use USAID to swoop in and give the striking protesters no-show jobs on U.S. taxpayer dimes so that they could keep getting paid while striking and protesting. It's like paid protesters to fulfill their own agenda. And that's been used in various countries. This is how ways that they abuse USAID funds. It's insane. We already covered Ron Paul saying it's $1 billion tool for global regime change and shadow governments. And yeah, Marco Rubio is now taken over as the acting director. They threatened
How about that? I didn't see that coming, but all right. I like that role.
It's part of the State Department, right? So there he is. Now he's taking it back over. So he's the acting director now, and they're gonna put an end to this ridiculous, wasteful agency. Hopefully. Okay, I think that is all the USAID topics, all of the things that I've highlighted for.
You had something about the deep state preferable to the Trump state.
Yes,
that was a good one as well.
This is kind of part of where this all opened up was Bill Kristol, because he is one of these swamp creatures who is also benefiting from U.S. aid. And he got cocky. He's been cocky, got instantly exposed. Trump-obsessed neocon, never-Trumper Bill Kristol fired off a tweet. Right here, he says, the deep state is far preferable to the Trump state. And let's see. This is where this guy came up, Data Republican. Said, hey, Mr. Kristol, for you, the deep state is preferable because you are listed as the president of Defending Democracy, which is an indirect beneficiary of U.S. aid through Rockefeller Philanthropy Advisors. You are exposed. So why is USAID giving millions of dollars to Bill Kristol? Well, at least indirectly. Yeah, and then they put up all this, and then he goes and hammers Trump all day. So yeah, the deep state's been in control for a very long time. And it turns out, yeah, they're kind of funding themselves through these little dirty slush funds. So, but now that is all exposed, and hopefully that will lead to his demise. He is a terrible guy. And
all they had to do was follow the money, Blake. All they had to do was follow the money.
Yeah, but then you got to also have somebody who's willing to change it. So, I mean, not like Trump did anything during his first administration, but now he's dropping the hammer. Now we're not messing around.
Yeah, all bets are off at this point. That's for damn sure. Okay, yeah, Bill Kristol. Jeez, he's been a swamp rat for so many of these people. But once you figure out who the people are, you follow them, and you can almost find the bad ideas universally, Blake. Once you know who the main players and the main puppets are, it's sort of easy to figure out which opinion you want to discredit. It's kind of that easy. I don't know if I knew that before, but it sort of feels that easy now.
Well, hopefully, yes, we can simplify everything and find out who's who and make some changes.
All right. We had a couple bonus minutes here. We had a couple things about the FBI and something about tariffs and something about RFK and some of the nominees. I guess a lot of them, they're being passed from one committee to the next committee. Now it's getting a full vote for the Senate. I'm not sure what the latest is with the confirmations. But which others did you have on your docket, sir?
That's it. Those are all ones you mentioned. RFK and the tariff stuff, and yes, the FBI. So which one do you want to go first? I guess it doesn't matter. I'll just go first. RFK, I don't know if we've had the complete update yet, but he is poised for the HHS confirmation as the Senate has shifted in his favor, a turning point for natural health and government accountability. I think that's how I put the question down.
I can give you a little bit here. This is saying 9-8, the Senate Intelligence Committee voted to approve Tulsi Gabbard's nominate. But like, I think there's two steps here. You got to get past one, then it goes to the full Senate. I think that's what we're doing. And I think Bobby Kennedy just went through that same thing. So
yeah, he went to the Finance Committee by a 14-13 vote. And then, Tulsi just squeaked by on a different one, on a different committee. So I don't know when the full Senate votes or how that works. I wasn't aware.
Blake here is saying that Colton Blake is saying that Pam Bondi will be confirmed as Attorney General in a Senate vote later today. Her confirmation is 100% secure. She has the votes to go through. I think most of these are ready to go through, but barely. They're all like razor thin, Blake. Are you kind of surprised by that?
No, not at all. I was worried they might not get in, or if it's going to be, it's going to be razor thin. It's going to be party lines, and I expect all the Democrats to vote against or to say no, and then it's just a matter of how many of these swamp creature Republicans are going to join them. So a couple people have switched. So I guess Cassidy was one of them for RFK. And I think I want to say it was Collins that switched for Tulsi. I don't know. But those are big moves. So if they can get in, we're good. If not, there's going to be a lot of controversy. And hopefully that won't happen. So these are the people that these are Trump's picks, and we voted for Trump, and he should get his picks in, unless there is something extraordinary in their background that prevents them from doing it. So maybe like Matt Gaetz, who I liked, but perhaps there was just too much in his background that led to his undoing. And Pete Hegseth came in with a tiebreaker. It was 50-50. And it was J.D. Vance that came in to decide it. So, these are going to be tough to get over, but they should. And we'll see. Okay, what else do we got, Brian? We've got Canada tariffs. I mean, that was it was such a meltdown Sunday night. And
it really
I was watching crypto markets. I was watching the economic markets. Looked like it was going to be just a destruction. The NASDAQ, the S&P, the Dow, the cryptos were all getting killed. And it was, oh my God, we're going to a full-fledged trade war on Monday. And the leftists were having a field day. Oh, this is what you voted for. And it's going to be the end of our economy. Oh, and then you got the Schumer up there talking about, the price of Corona and avocados and blah, blah, blah. But man, it ended so quickly. I hardly noticed it. And then all of these asset classes came roaring back like it never happened. So it was wild. It was like a big stock market crash. And then it all flipped around real quickly. They both caved. They had no leverage in this tariff trade battle. So that was cool to see. And all right, what else? Last story that I have, Brian.
FBI.
The FBI, here we go. Names of the FBI officials who worked on the January 6th cases and Trump investigations have now been identified. How did I frame this in the quote?
FBI should be protesting the retribution mission from Trump.
There it is. Okay. So, according to NBC News, there were more than 2,400 cases in total for all of January 6th, the witch hunts. And the FBI officials who worked on the cases and investigations were identified. Reportedly 5,000 employees subject to potential firing. And they were able to get a internal FBI document showing that executives used the FBI Sentinel case file management system to identify everybody. They said this is being viewed within the FBI as a retribution mission as they are going through the list, receiving a survey asking them exactly what did you do on these cases. And I guess 88 people in the FBI were actually walked out of the building. So last week heads rolled to the Washington field office and the Miami office where they probably conducted that Mar-a-Lago raid. After they fired, 88 people marched out of their offices. So, wondering if the FBI, I mean, they got to be freaking out, right? Because, they were involved in sending innocent people to jail.
By the way, Snowflake News reporting that the FBI just revealed 5,000 out of their 13,000 agents were focused on January 6th protesters. 39% of their entire bureau for this. And they're showing pictures of them walking through, and there's, it's a self-guided tour, waving a flag, taking selfies. Like, these people are, oh my God, I have so much disdain for the people that have tried to paint that insurrection narrative just to keep Trump out of office, because they had to fortify it to put Biden in there. They were terrified that Trump could ever get back. And guess what? You messed around, and now you're going to find out. Mafo, mess around, find out. But I'm excited for it. I'm super excited to see it. Yeah, Kash Patel, let's see how that one votes. That one's going to be huge. I haven't seen that confirmation vote yet, but Kash is going to really make a difference in there, fixing things, because this has been weaponized against we the people. And at this point, he's the only person I would trust to try to clean it out. So hopefully all of these appointments can happen sooner rather than later, Blake. All right. Well, that's all I have for today. Did you have anything on the docket that didn't make it so far?
Nope, that was it.
Awesome. High and tight. Kept it under an hour. Imagine that. How's it feel? Good? Energetic? Awesome?
Well, I know we both have to leave. Yeah, no, it's all good, Brian. I wouldn't expect there's any way to finish on a regular basis under an hour, but it's all good since we kept it high and tight and it went through, and I'm happy about that, Brian.
Heck yeah. Awesome. Would you kindly tell people about where to best find your stuff and what other shows you do? Any place you want to direct the people watching?
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at TV's Blake Walley, and the archive is on The Next Level News. And I will be back on air in about 6 hours from now.
Oh, yeah.
For Toxically Masculine Tuesday. Oh, my goodness, Brian. All right. You get more excited about it than I do. But I will be on with Mike Barra, Trail Boss Steve Doran, and Dr. Brooks Agnew coming up at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Heck yeah.
I think it's in 5 hours. All right, cool. Well, I will be there for that. Best round table on the net. Thank you, Brian.
Thank
you, everybody. And I appreciate your support. And we'll see you next time, huh?
All right. Thank you again, Blake. To be continued. Speaking of support, if you want to donate to Blake, he's on Venmo at Blake-Walley. And he's on Cash App at $BlakeW99. Independent media always appreciates your assistance. Make sure you're following The New American Media on our Rumble account, The New American Media. The Agree to Disagree Show podcast on Spotify. Follow The New American Media on X at American_media_. We're on YouTube, youtube.com/@the New American Media. We're on Facebook, private group at TNAM's The Agree to Disagree Show. And our Facebook page, The New American Media. We're on Telegram and Signal at TNAM and TNAM Chat. Link up with us there, TNAM and TNAM Chat. We're on Truth Social at The New American Media. Instagram, man, our Instagram page is lit. We've been really working Instagram in. It's fueling the TNAM AM show really well. So follow The New American Media on Instagram. Also, the Unhappy Hour Sports Show in all of the places. And Rumble, Rumble, The New American Media. Patreon.com, of course, /The New American Media. That's a place where you could sign up to become a regular contributor. $5, $15, $100, $1,000, whatever you feel like donating a month. You know, there's a tier level for you. We're also on Venmo at Brian Engelman, BrianEngelman. PayPal at Fuzz Installment, and Cash App $ Brian Engelman. TNAM, yes, man. Yes, man. Yes, it is. Thank you to everybody in the comments today. We kept it high and tight. We got a couple things going on. Maybe I'll give you an update on Thursday. See how it goes tonight. But yeah, thanks to Josh and thanks to people watching in the background, not commenting, and Kenneth, of course, for joining us today as we unpack all of the fun news on the Agree to Disagree show. I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you so much for joining. On behalf of Blake Walley and everybody out there in the TNAM universe, I appreciate you. I love you. And we'll talk to you again.